Samuel. I always feel like I have a stalker. What to do? What to do? Oh, hey, I got somebody. Edward.
How goes it?
Doing good. How are you?
I'm doing pretty well. Not able to catch anyone else yet?
Oh, same old crap, just another day.
Gotcha. I was about to ping you to figure out how to get into this thing.
Yeah, I think Marion, she's having some sort of error.
But yeah, I was having one too, actually.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Because last week it kind of really freaked out on me. Ah, Zach's here.
Okay.
Can you guys hear me now?
Yep.
Hey. That's a miracle. So where's everybody else?
Marion's trying to get in. Somebody else had to go give a blessing. Marion's here.
There she is.
I
Hi, Marion.
It's such a struggle every week, but we somehow persevere.
And it only took us 8 minutes. That's the improvement.
Marion, guess what? You can hear me this time.
Oh, that's great.
I know.
Although I kind of liked it when you just got to type. It was fun.
Wasn't that fun?
Yeah, sorry you missed that, Edward. It was extremely exciting.
Well, I got to watch it all. I just couldn't get into it.
Really? Oh,
Yeah.
that's great.
Who's our leader this week?
Well, that's what I was going to ask. Is Zach Littlefield still in our group?
I don't think so.
No, he dropped the class.
I think it was a Samuel. What's his
Yeah, I
name?
think Samuel was this week.
Seems like nobody's in our group anymore. Seems like our group has dwindled.
Our group of 4?
Yeah.
What are you talking, nobody? We're like the most amazing people around, so what do I care if nobody else is here?
That's true.
Did Nick say if he was coming or not?
No, I didn't see anything on email anyway.
Last week he said he would be here, but I don't know if anything's changed.
I think. Who?
Nick.
Nick.
Savaglio or something.
Oh, that guy.
Well, I came prepared. I printed out the leadership agenda since we have the password.
Password?
Yeah, you know how in order to get into the who's ever the leader that week, they give a password.
No.
Oh. Well, there was a password from one of our modules. I think Daniel wasn't able to post, and so apparently it's the password anytime you want to get in to look at the leadership agenda for that week.
Oh,
And
cool.
I think the word is powerful, just in case you want to know that.
Oh, I remember that.
Yeah, so I got kind of sneaky and used it, and it's apparently all termed the same password.
Nope.
So at least I have some discussion questions.
We've always got something to talk about.
Except for Zach last week.
Yeah, I got a lot to type about.
Purple Tunnel.
Yeah, seriously.
Do we want to start then and say a prayer?
Yeah, I think we might as well. I'm going to start at 9/11, so.
Has anyone not had an opportunity for prayer yet?
Edward. Just kidding. I don't know.
I can do it. That's not a big deal.
Thanks, Edward. We'd love that.
Sure. Our dear Father in heaven, we're grateful for this day and the chance we have to meet together to discuss the lesson for this week. Please bless us with an open mind and that we can share ideas and be able to accomplish what we need to in this. We ask in the name of thy Son, Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
So the first question they have on this is, how did Rinaldi get into this mess? And I guess so. We should talk about the situation and how it came about. And
Poor girl.
what are your thoughts, Chad?
She thought that since after graduating with her master's, she wanted to get in with a firm that had, larger exposure, and so that's why she went with this waters company, and instead of the other company that she interned for, which then they loved her. And yeah, probably was starting the first day or second day, she started second guessing her decision when she saw her coworker in a inappropriate position situation with her boss, and not to mention, gosh, so many other things.
Edward, what do you think about the dynamic between Rinaldi and her manager, Bullet?
I kind of thought it was I thought it was doomed from the beginning. I mean, usually, at least in my work experience, when you're going to get a new hire in, you know they're coming. And the manager never really seemed to be interested in Rinaldi, was never really ready for her, kind of pawned her off on, what's his name, Jamie, I think it was, and really didn't seem to have any interest at all. So I kind of thought that was kind of a shot situation pretty much from the word go.
I agree.
Yeah.
So, what do you think was Bullet's contribution to the whole scenario? Zach.
Well, I feel like the company as a whole at the water or the beverage company, I feel like their hiring process could probably use a lot of work. It seemed like they maybe could use a little bit of work in finding people who have skills, because obviously Marion is very skilled. Or not Marion, sorry. You're very skilled as well.
I love those oblivion things that happen.
But she seems like she has a lot of skills, but they just weren't used in the right fashion. She maybe wasn't applied in the right position, or maybe she didn't have the right opportunities to showcase her skills. She obviously is good at what she does. She just hasn't had those opportunities to really show everyone else that she works with that same capabilities.
And then, Edward, what do you think was her colleague Bond's contribution to this scenario?
Who is that again? I'm sorry.
Bond, her colleague that she shared the desk with.
I kind of thought he was more trying to find ways to tear her down, because I mean, it talked about where he didn't like the fact she was an MBA graduate, where he didn't have that upbringing because he came up on the operations side of the business. It's almost like he wanted to push her out, where he gave her the menial tasks of the copying and the contract signing, and didn't seem like he really wanted her there.
I agree. Chad, what about Rinaldi's? What could she have done differently?
She could have took that other job. Just kidding. Throwing a little sarcasm in there. Just a second. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Samuel's trying to log in, but I don't know. I think that as we were talking, the thought came to me was perhaps hello.
That was fun. Sorry, I got distracted by our music.
Yeah.
So how would you, Chad, how would you describe Rinaldi's influence style? Did she use any tactics? I mean, I guess to the group as a whole, what do you think about her influence style?
Just one quick second, please.
Have we got somebody trying to join, Chad? That's kind of what it looks like.
Yeah, exactly. Sorry. I'm really purposely not trying to ignore you.
That's okay. I do better when people ignore me.
Samuel Villas. Copy. Add. There's. Hopefully that gets them over here. But as y'all were talking, the thought came to me that perhaps Julius, with his little initiative of hiring a bunch of MBAs, that he wanted all these advanced degree people to be part of his department, but Natalie and Jamie, since they did not have that advanced degree, they were automatically intimidated and didn't want her to be a part of. They didn't want her, even though Julius did. And with that kind of precondition of, hate this gal, she's, treat her bad, she'll leave on her own. That perhaps that could have been like the beginning situation of it all. But also, I guess a bad part of the whole situation is that Natalie, she had been the project manager for 2.5 years, almost 3. And while the case study said that they change every year or two, that perhaps that is a ding on Julius for not, I guess, being on top of that and letting that little department become stagnant. And also it didn't help having Jamie in there too, and just letting him be like he is, instead of watching his communication style or providing any help at all. He just told Martha, he said, "Well, when you figure it out, let me know." As far as how his communication the way he communicates. So it's just another example of just a big hot mess in the department, I think.
Hi, Samuel. Welcome.
Oh yeah, here's Emma.
Hey, how's it going, guys? Thanks for letting me be part of the group.
Of course.
That was all Chad.
Say that again? I didn't hear you.
That was all Chad. Our friend Chad is holding us together technology-wise.
Oh, great. Good.
Please don't hold
Good
it
thing.
again if it fails.
I was thinking with Rinaldi, one thing she could have done is she never, when she was working with her colleagues, she never asked him prioritization needs. He would throw all these different assignments at her, but she never clearly communicated her need in seeking understanding what his needs were. So, not that I think she deserved to be treated the way she did, but maybe he lacked self-confidence for a reason. And if she had looked at it from a viewpoint of how can I help this individual be a better person, maybe she would have had an easier outcome.
Yeah, I agree. I actually had a job once about 1.5 years ago as an insurance salesman, and I liked the job, but the person that I worked for was so difficult to work with because they didn't communicate what they wanted. And I feel like she really got kind of thrown into that same situation. There was no real set expectation, And because there was no real set expectation or guideline or like structure, it seemed like there was no structure. But because of that, there was just a like total lack of communication, and it proved to be, I think, a downfall in her situation particularly, but it can also eventually lead to, if it's not stopped, the downfall of the organization in general.
I agree. I actually part of what I wrote down. For example, she didn't want to like speak up because she thought it would be against like or not as loyal to the company. But I mean, like loyal to what, right? She's been there for like 2 weeks. They haven't given her a reason to be loyal to the company, at least in my perspective. And I guess in today's world, everyone's just out for their own. People are kind of selfish, and unless there's like specific team metrics and stuff like that embedded in the company, it's kind of hard to be loyal to a team that's not loyal to yourself, right? So I think she should have pushed a little more. The team that was there wasn't the best, but you gotta like watch out for yourself as well, to a certain extent.
Question for the group as a whole: do you think there were opportunities where she could have made a difference in, I guess, the ultimate outcome of this case? Were there choice points along the way that she didn't take advantage of?
I don't know if there were specific moments, but I feel like there's probably plenty of missed opportunities on both sides with her and the company, because I feel like I feel like if she would have sat down with her managers or with her supervisors or whoever she felt like was responsible for her success, I feel like if she would have just sat down and had a very frank conversation with them and told her feelings and said, look, this is how I'm feeling and this is not the way I want to feel. I want to feel like I'm productive at work. I want to feel like my skills are utilized. Is there something that we can do to make this work? I feel like she could have just been maybe a little bit more proactive in that situation. But also on the flip side of that, when someone's new to a company, usually they're very timid in trying to approach things like that. And I feel like the responsibility should be pushed onto the organization at that point, that they should be making sure that their new employees are very comfortable at where they're at and that they are okay with what they're doing and they know their responsibility. I feel like that's really the organization's responsibility at that point. But because the organization didn't take a stance like they should have, that's where she should have stepped up.
I like that. I wish it had the courage when Julius asked her, how is it going? Because, you know, he's like top management. Yeah. And she just says, well, she tries to be polite, she tries to be political, I think for all the reasons why you said that. But, oh, I would have loved it for her to say, actually, I have some improvement planning ideas. When can I meet with you? That would have been awesome. I don't know. Julius might not have liked that, but I just think it'd been cool if she had the confidence to do that.
She didn't help herself in a lot of places.
No. So, do you think there could be any way for her to repair the relationship she had with Bullet or Vaughn?
I think you can repair any situation just by having an honest conversation, just like one of you guys just mentioned right now. But it would have been kind of hard, perhaps a bit awkward. I mean, it's possible, but I don't think it would be the best thing to do at this point.
So, what are her advantages of staying at the company?
Become more familiar with a copy machine.
She was getting paid. What was it, 2 times more or a lot more? I don't remember what the amount was, but she was being paid more, right?
No, she's paying $15,000 less than the other job.
Oh, less. It's the opposite.
What was she thinking?
That's what I said. It's all about money.
Yeah. Exactly. She wanted the prestige and. it came back to bite her, I thought.
Yeah, I think a lot of people look for prestige, and I think they look for the opportunity to grow. And I think a lot of people think that the grass is always greener on the other side.
Mhm.
Even when you have a job where you enjoy your job, there are things that there's no perfect job in the world. There will be days that you have a job where you have hard days and you think, why am I even doing this anymore? And it looks like the job that you've been looking at for a while or that you've had in the back of your mind all of a sudden looks really appealing. And once you get that in your head, it's really hard to go back. But I think in her situation, I don't know why she should stay where she's at right now, other than the fact that I think it would be a little bit embarrassing to go back. But I don't think that should keep her from doing it.
You know, there's lots of advantages to that company that she lists. It's nationally known, it's stable, it's large, it's able to absorb a down economy, which I'm assuming in a beverage company that might be hard to do. That would be the first thing I cut out is Mountain Dew. So, I think the only advantage from my viewpoint for her staying is that if she's bold enough, she has the opportunity to help that company even be more successful. But obviously she doesn't have that personality, maybe because of her inexperience in the corporate world. So I'm not sure she would be successful at it. So here they have the rest of the case. Here is the rest of the story. Follett and Vaughn both left shortly, and Rinaldi learned that Follett had been job hunting during Rinaldi's time there. Rinaldi had two bosses who admired her work and relied on her. She was promoted ahead of schedule. I'm curious, what were your suggestions for your conclusions of your paper? Did you just suggest if she should stay or go?
I said go.
Zach says go.
Yes.
What
I said go as well.
Samuel said go. Edward, you said go.
I did.
Chad.
Yes.
Me too.
I actually I kind of wrote it a little late last night, so let me see if I can refresh my memory.
I'm glad I'm not the only one.
Oh gosh.
You know, I think she's going to be happier at the other company. They value her. They like her skill sets. She's a person that is not someone that has to learn how to do a PowerPoint. She wants to get right in there and make, significant differences. And I don't care what the end of their story is. I think they're wrong.
Let's see. I didn't put down whether I thought she should go or not. Wait. I said that change in project management need to be made. Natalie needs to go. Jamie needs to get the heck out of there. And perhaps even Julius, but he still might need to be held accountable for a lack of oversight or management as well.
So I'm curious. I know, Zach, you had mentioned, I put that in my paper at least, that like a company policy on new employee orientation would be extremely helpful. What are some of the other solutions y'all had in your papers?
I also put that the organizational structure of the companies needs to be reviewed and maybe just solidified, maybe more defined, I guess is the best way to put it. Seems like kind of a bunch of chickens running around with their heads cut off to me, but
Yeah, could you imagine I just can't imagine a manager saying to me, hey, you shouldn't have helped out with that project. Really? I would have been fired before I left because I have a big mouth.
What?
And so, did you have any other solutions, Edward?
No, my big thing was I kind of thought that if she wasn't willing to stand up, that probably really wasn't her situation, because in that one they seem to kind of either get run over or you're doing the run over. So my big thing was she needed to go back to where she fit in better. I didn't think her personality was a good fit with the national company like that.
You know, one part that really bothered me was the performance evaluation. How her manager just haphazardly, without any planning, off the cuff. It just seems to me that I would feel undervalued. I mean, I think it's already scary enough to go into and be prepared to have someone say to you things that you're doing wrong. It's going to be, part of your file. So I would have liked to see their company actually have a consistent process for performance reviews and hold the managers accountable for those performance reviews in their own performance reviews. I've never seen that happen, but I would love it.
I work for a company right now who focuses a lot on skills, and we actually, every new employee takes a test, a skills assessment test of some sort that obviously assesses your skills. But in order to have employment at the company, you have to actually score to a certain extent on some different skills, and then other skills are maybe not as important. But throughout your career, your employment with the company, everything usually comes back to skills. It's a big focus, and everyone, it's kind of public knowledge what your top 3 skills are, and you can see everybody else's top 3 skills. And a lot of people will use that as an advantage. Instead of trying to focus on weaknesses, the company likes to say that you should leverage your strengths. So they never actually tell you your results. They only tell you your top 3 skills. And I feel like in this situation, she knows what her skills are, but her weaknesses are being pointed out more than her skills. And I wish that she could leverage her strengths more than focus on strengthening her weaknesses, because it would have made a big difference in that situation.
Well, I hope you become an entrepreneur that takes over the nation, Zach. We will all come work for you. I love it. So, Samuel, what motivates you at work?
I just started a job about 3 weeks ago, and right now it's just learning, I guess. I actually own my own business. I sold out and decided to come work for a bigger company, more established company that's, I guess, doing a lot more than what I could do by myself. So right now my motivation is to learn as much as I can. I feel like I'm still kind of young. I feel like there's always opportunity to learn, and as much as I can, fit into my head and then later perhaps in life apply to reduce risk and increase the possibility of success, then I think that's what that motivates me right now.
Fantastic. Congratulations on the sale.
Yeah.
Thanks.
What kind of business?
It was a marketing business, publicity campaigns, online campaigns, stuff like that.
That's awesome. That's very cool. So, anyone in the group, do you have a personal experience that applies to this scenario? Where maybe you valued others and saw the benefit, or felt undervalued because of the people around you in the work scenario? You all work at perfect places. You've never had one problem ever?
I can't say that I've ever felt undervalued, but I think one of the things that employees often forget is that there are other people that they work with. And I guess what I mean by that is a lot of times we focus on ourselves and we don't focus on recognizing other people. We worry more about what everyone thinks of us. And so I guess I've never felt unappreciated, but I'm sure that there are probably moments when I could have appreciated others that I work with that I have not.
Could you imagine what it would have been like to work in the city of Enoch? I mean, if they were translated, that must have been the best economic work environment ever. Like, I'm just like thrilled with this idea. How do I agree with that?
Is that your question, or is that from the leader?
We should add it for next term. I should make No, that's just me. No, they just talk about a world application and how our personal experiences might tie into this particular case study.
It does kind of beg the question, though, like what would be different in the city of Enoch at a workplace compared to where you work now? Like what? I guess everything comes down to a personal level for me. I imagine the organization would change as well, but if every person was acting righteously and looked out for everybody else, I imagine that would be a good place to work. But why is it not like that now?
Well, for me personally, I have worked with a lot of people like Rinaldi experience. I think a lot of it comes from value systems, at least getting to know them. It really was, they had the mindset of money truly is everything. Everyone else, you have to be out for yourself, because if you aren't, then you're going to lose in the end. So I was an anomaly. I was strange, because I would pray for them and fast for them, because, you know, pray for your enemies, right? And I saw great change from it. Not 100%, but there were several individuals that I was absolutely amazed at their change by God's power alone. So I actually can't imagine a place like Enoch. I want to, but my past experience has made me more suspicious or not as trustful, and I always have to work on that and understand it's that each individual's different, and I shouldn't prejudge. I can be wise. I can have smart trust. What I loved about Covey's book about smart trust, because of my own personal experience. Yeah, it's an evil
I guess
world.
we're all. Sorry.
No, go ahead. Is it Samuel?
Yeah. I guess we're just all too selfish. It would be complicated to get to a circumstance like that city, I guess. We want to win, and even us, you know, as want to be entrepreneurs or businessmen or women. It's about winning and having success, and many times we don't see what other things we can gain or what others can gain from what we're doing, and we kind of just see ourselves, you know, rising to the top. And perhaps in this city back then, it was more of a, just like you said, Covey talks about the win-win, you know. That's a little bit more complicated when you win and then the person right next to you wins as well, right, at the same rate.
Yeah, and I guess I beg the question of also, why in our society do we really care what someone else might think? Isn't it truly what the Lord thinks? Interesting.
You're always so deep thoughts.
Shallow brain, deep thought. That's my mantra.
Yeah. when I've worked with people that I've had such a hard time dealing with them, the only thing I pray for isn't to, help them or really help me. It's just to pray that I don't want to, that I won't want to smack them.
Snap.
That's a good start.
Yeah.
Oh gosh, yeah. So many times I just like put my head on my desk and just like, oh, just put me out of my misery, please.
I'll tell you, Chad, it is not easy to pray for those individuals. But from my own experience, it is so rewarding for those individuals that are willing to hear the Lord. And, something changes their hearts,
Wow.
and it's miraculous because at least most of the people in my work history have not been LDS. They've had extremely different viewpoints. So obviously, it's the only thing that I can imagine that would change them to that extent is the light of Christ. But there was it a bad taste in my mouth every time I would try to pray about it. It's not easy. I'll say it that way. It's not easy, but I hope you get the opportunity to try that at some point. It's pretty darn cool.
Thank you. Are you in Utah?
I'm in Utah now. I was in Oregon for the last 20 years.
Oh, what part of Oregon?
I know you're from Oregon too, from Portland, Oregon.
Yeah.
And I worked in Gresham, Oregon.
Gresham, yeah.
Yeah.
I lived in Beaverton and Loa and Tigard.
I know you lived on the rich part of the river.
What part of Portland did you live?
I lived in southeast Portland, and I lived in the hood, in the ghetto.
Oh.
Rent was really cheap there.
Like Milwaukee or like?
No, actually, in the Rockwood district area.
Oh, wow.
Oh, why do you say it like that, Chad?
Oh, it was Edward.
That was me.
Across the river from you.
Yeah. I live in Vancouver, so I know all about that area.
Oh, that's hilarious, Edward. Yeah, so you know Rockwood area?
Yeah, in fact, I work at the jail for the county jail, and I manage the kitchen, so I know a lot of people from the Rockwood area.
Which jail?
The Inverness jail. It's off of Airport Way.
Yeah.
A friend of mine, her daughter was just there, and I have a brother-in-law that was there several years ago too.
Oh, wow.
Sorry, Zach and Samuel.
I live in Idaho, nowhere near any of you.
The year before I left, we had 6 murders within a mile radius around my home. And they were all break-ins, and they had no suspects.
I believe it.
So I love being in the country. It's a great upgrade for me. I think that's it. Is there any other thoughts that anybody has?
No?
Nope.
I think we're good.
So who's our leader for next week?
I looked at it just before you
Might
said.
be.
Oh, that's me. That's Nate.
It's you, Chad?
I think so.
Yeah, I think we're back to the beginning.
Yep, I think so.
I haven't done a leader thing even in my other group. So if you guys want me to get in for next week and then just go from there, we can do that.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Yeah, that'd be awesome, Samuel. So what we've been doing is we decided to nominate Chad as our technology specialist.
Great.
So he's sending out the link to all of us, and then like at the end of this session, he's going to personally send me the link, right, Chad, to the recording?
Sure.
And then I post it, then I'll post it. So we're working truly as an Enoch City, as a team with great love. So he can do that for you next week. I'm just assuming he will. Thanks, Chad.
Yeah, that would work. That would make it a lot
Okay.
easier.
Yeah, isn't it? I know. It's great. And then, I don't know if you know this, Samuel, but in the case study, there's actually a place you can click as the leader and download the agenda for questions to ask the group as part of the discussion.
Yeah, I think I've seen that part, so I'll do that for next week.
Okay, that sounds great. And then do I have a volunteer for the closing prayer?
Oh, sorry.
I think it's the first person to yawn or make noise. I think it's you, Chad.
Try yours, Chad.
I just saw a message from somebody. But anyway, yeah. Okay, I'll be happy to. Our Father in heaven, we thank thee for this day. We thank thee for the opportunity that we have of learning from one another and from learning through our studies, and especially these case studies. And we ask you to please bless each of us as we go through our studies each day, and that we'll be able to apply those things that we learn into our daily lives, both our work lives as well as our family lives. And these things we ask thee for, and we thank thee for, in the name of thy Son, Jesus Christ. Amen.
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 Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Have a
Good
great
night.
week. And we'll see you next Wednesday.
Okay, sounds good. See ya.
Bye.
All right, bye.
And Marion, I can